We are very happy that Comrade M.V. Murali, our veteran leader and former Secretary of State Bank of India Staff Federation, is here in Hyderabad to speak about his long experience in the Federation. He was the Secretary of State Bank of India Staff Federation during 2012 to 2016. Not only the present leaders, but even the former veteran leaders also speak high of Comrade Murali for his contributions during the struggle, trial and tribulations of Federation. Now we have the opportunity to get some important information from Comrade Murali. Comrade Murali, my first question to you, that during your tenure, what issue dealt by our federation you consider to be most important?
Of course, there were many issues which have been dealt with by me
True.
as secretary. Of course, they may not be more significant, but it's a continuous basis, improving the facilities available to the employees, either in the welfare, service conditions like that. In the similar fashion, we also did certain of the things. And one thing is, at that time, management unilaterally introduced a position called as customer assistant. It is also only in selected branches for selected people. That we fought, and we brought it under the purview of the career progression. And also, irrespective of their place of posting, one should get on completion of certain years of service. I think I remember, if you are correct, it is on completion of 1 year service. Everyone must become a customer assistant and should get the allowance. That is the one thing we brought. And for ex-servicemen, there were problems. Weightage was given to them for in-cadre promotion as well as out-cadre promotion, but they used to give only one time. That means if they are becoming as head clerk or senior assistant, it will be considered. Then thereafter, for next promotion, it was not used to be there, the weightage. So because of that, their promotion to the next cadre used to be delayed because they got 2 years weightage in the first one. Then thereafter 25 years of service. So that also we made the management to agreeable that it should be on ongoing basis. That 2 years weightage, whatever they are giving, that should be given in every in-cadre promotion position. And for out-cadre promotion also, they used to give only one time. So if he is not selected this time, next time they never used to give that weightage. That also we said, if he opts for officer cadre to avail this benefit, so it should be continued till such time he is promoted, or he withdraw himself from appearing for that test. That is one thing. And another thing is that one new promotion category we have introduced for ex-servicemen. When they are taking the assistant security officers from the market, outside the market, we argued with the management. We are having so many ex-servicemen people who are eligible for that position. Why not to take them instead of going for the market? That we were able to make the management agreeable. And at that time, all the security officers are appointed from the existing ex-servicemen employees by way of conducting a test and some selection process. That is another thing we could achieve for the ex-servicemen. And in the family pension area, if the employee is having any dependent parents, we have come across certain cases where employee has no family except dependent parents, and dependent parents are totally depend on him, and after his death they are not getting anything. That we thought it is a pitiable condition. The dependent parents should also be made eligible for the family pension. That we took up with the management, and management has ultimately agreed. If the dependent parents are there and the employee is not left with any other family members, they will get the family pension. That is one satisfactory. development we could get. And one important which has given more satisfaction to me is improvements in the individual housing loans. So this recovery we have extended up to the 75 years of age. That is one thing. And the amount also substantially it is increased. And for the serving employees, the recovery, the monthly recovery of installments is extended from 260 to I think 300 or 300 monthly installments. But one problem has come at that time. If the recovery is given to the employees up to 75 years of age, in the meantime, that we cannot assume that all the employees will survive for 15 years after the retirement. Suddenly, if the employee dies, what will happen to the family? So they may not be in a position to repay the loans. And should they be thrown out of their homes? So this aspect we discussed with the management. And we suggested that all the housing loans must be insured so that once the employee after retirement dies, his family need not suffer. They will become the successors of that house. Then the problem is that who will pay the premium? That problem has come. We said that bank has to share that amount, and we won't mind to share a part of it as a premium. Ultimately, we made the bank agreeable to pay entire premium by the bank in respect of the employees, and immediately thereafter, we have also ensured that the similar facility is extended to the serving employees also, and their loans are also insured by the bank and premium paid by the bank. Total the repayment, if anything happens to the employee, that the housing loans are secured. That one of the important areas we could get the improvement.
And no, that is very encouraging, and it's very important contribution of your addition, no doubt about it. Now, may I ask you, you know that we are going to celebrate our Platinum Jubilee celebration of Federation. Now, you are a very important and veteran leader, and you walked with many legendary leaders like our Lakshmi Nasaya. Now, obviously, you know, and you were a part and parcel of many important developments of our federation. Would you please highlight some of the important developments and contributions of our federation during this long period? What do you want to highlight as the main contributions of our federation, for not only for the State Bank employees, but for the entire banking employees?
So when it comes to the State Bank of India, Comrade Nirmal Chaudhary, of course I have not worked with him, but he is the person responsible for opting the middle class index for the clerical cadre employees. And at that time we were having separate pay scales not linked with the industry level. And during 1978 we were brought at par with the industry in scales and wages. So at that time, because of that, in the State Bank of India, we were able to get some additional DA in view of the middle class index for accepting the working class index, because they wanted to make everyone equal, in equal footing in the banking industry. So in the banking industry, for all the people, it was only working class index. And our scales of pay and the increment rate was different. So that has resulted into payment of existing allowance. So clerical cadre employees, they got existing allowance and additional DA. Sub-staff category employees, they got existing allowance. In the next bipartite, that is fourth bipartite, it was converted into increments, additional increments. So that way, State Bank of India employees got a benefit. And especially where I appreciate my predecessors or veterans is the fourth thought, what they used to have at that time. At that time, this computerization is coming, and foreign banks they are being permitted to enter into the banking industry. New type of private banks are coming. So they are coming with a lot of improvements in the technology. So definitely they will have an edge. So at that time our management was also pleading that you should allow us to introduce some computerization, some technology like that. And much prior to that also, when the bank requires technology, our federation was in forefront in agreeing to the extent which it is required, absolutely necessary, minimum necessary to the bank. It is not that they are given a free hand because they wanted to have technology or computerization. And at the same time, the thinking of the federation is, because we are agreeing for the computerization, the bank is getting some benefit. And out of that, you have to give a portion to the employees also. It has to be shared with the employees. So because of that, that 9th June 1989 settlement has come into the state. It was signed between the federation and the bank. It has resulted into one increment to all the employees who are in service as on a particular date. Opposing that, there was a lot of halla in the banking industry. The other so-called trade unions leaders, they have declared, one great leader also declared that I will not allow even a single calculator in the banking industry. But later on, in 1993, these people are forced to go to the government saying that similar to State Bank of India, you shall also give an increment. We will also agreeable for the computerization. Of course, people may wonder what the federation has agreed at that time. So, in lieu of the one increment, what they have agreed is to introduce standalone computers having 1 KB memory. Now 1 KB is nothing, it is in megawatts. But for that, our forefathers, they were able to get one increment to the State Bank of India employees. Thereafter, depending upon the needs of the bank, the much higher agreements have been agreed on the computerization, and similarly financial benefits also they have received for the employees. That is one achievement and one thing which we can say about the forethought of our forefathers. Then when there is nowhere in the family pension, of course the pension was not there in the banking industry at all. Our people, they could get the family pension in State Bank of India. That is also one of the great achievements. Apart from that, we have fought and we have never allowed the political influence to enter into the bank. That is one great achievement according to me, which our forefathers, even now it is continuing. We always kept the political people away. So that is also ensured that the leadership served to the employees. And also another principle is that our leadership is from the existing employees, serving employees, and once an employee retires, he should quit the position. That is also a good principle brought by our forefathers, which still we are continuing. Because of that, whosoever is there in the leadership, he belongs to the employees and he understands the problems of the employees. He will also be a part of the benefits which are being accrued to the employees. That is also a good thing we should say from our federation side. And we had long battles. For example, when they are not implementing, not improving this pension during 8th bipartite, when they have not implemented 7th bipartite pay scales, 8th bipartite pay scales, we went on an indefinite strike. In fact, at that time, nobody is thinking in the industry, not only industry, everywhere else, about the going on an indefinite strike. So during that period, we have thought and we have decided and we have gone ahead with the indefinite strike and could ultimately achieve that one. And once the government made an attempt to give recognition to the minority unions in State Bank of India, at that time also we fought. Of course, Ganeshan and Lakshmanasaya, so both they took up it very seriously and they fought with the management of the government and ensured that such encouragement is not given to the minority unions. Particularly, they have some political parties in mind at that time. We were able to stop that one. That is another thing. And
Yes, these are very important points, salient points that you have pointed out. Thank you very much. We will definitely appreciate that we should actually search for our root. We should go to the past to build our future. And so we are celebrating our Platinum Jubilee. And we hope that leaders like you will guide us ever, and we will definitely build our future more glorious. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity and associate myself with the documentary that is being prepared on the occasion of the Platinum Jubilee. Thank you.
Thank you.
In fact, when the pension is introduced in the bank, so as State Bank of India, our staff federation, we have demanded that this is an additional amount, because at that time IBS said that it is costing 1600 crores in the banking industry for extending the pension to the employees. Of course, that is not applicable to State Bank of India employees. So our federation has demanded our proportionate share should be given to us. So ultimately we went on hesitation and we were able to make them agreeable to pay to that amount. So that amount has come to us as a existing allowance to the employees, and it is being paid on a continuous basis to all the employees who are there in the services on a particular date till their retirement. And another thing what Federation has ensured is that whatever weightages that have come, either because of the additional increments or some additional facilities, these amounts will continue to accrue, or benefits accrue to the employees even after reaching the maximum till their retirement. That is one achievement we should say that the Federation has done to the employees. And in every bipartite, they used to foresee something and they used to raise a demand, making up a case, just not because we belong to the State Bank of India. Because as State Bank of India employees, we are supposed to get. Like that they used to demand, and they used to get that benefit to the employees, either as existing allowance, special compensatory allowance, or pension balancing allowance, whatever name it is, they used to continue to get that one. And this career progression scheme that was introduced in the State Bank of India is also a unique one. It was not there in any bank. Automatically, on completing certain years of service, employees are given a little more that promotion like that within the cadre, and they are given some additional allowance. Of course, along with that, they have to discharge some higher duties also. That is also one benefit of the people Federation leadership to bring it to the State Bank of India employees. Apart from that, many more benefits which are not there in other banks, they also ensured, particularly in the welfare area, like the establishment of dispensaries, extension of pre-diagnostic facilities, and dispensing the medicines freely to the employees, improved medical aid facilities which were not there in any other bank, so better than the facilities which other banks are having. And as I said, the housing loan also, first time it has come in the State Bank of India. Apart from housing loans, vehicle loans, particularly car loans to the employees, to the clerical cadre employees, nobody was thinking at that time to extend the car loan, but our federation could get it to the first to the clerical employees. Thereafter, even now, the subordinate staff employees also, the car loan is, four-wheeler loan is being given. This as a welfare measure, our people were able to get it. So these are some of the important things that could accrue to the State Bank of India. And apart from that, our forefathers or our veterans, they fought on principles. It is not about the convenience, whether it is possible or not, like that. They stood on certain principles. They used to fight with the government, launch hesitations, and ultimately they were able to succeed. These are also certain of the things that are done by our veteran leaders. like Amaravasti, resigning because the management has not implemented one of the understandings which the federation has signed with the management. And these are certain of the things which our forefathers have fought on principles.
Yes, true. Comrade Venugopal Reddy ji, you are a very senior, beloved leader of our association, and we know that you are the former General Secretary of our Madras Union. You know that we are going to celebrate our 75th anniversary of State Bank of India Staff Federation. Now we actually want to know about the genesis of our federation. We know that Madras Circle Union played a very important role, and they collaborated, they held, and they inspired the comrades of Bengal Circle Association, actually Imperial Bank of India, Indian Staff Association, to form a federation with the other circles. Now, would you please reflect on this genesis of our federation?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mukhopadhyay. In fact, I am elated to receive you and discuss about on certain important matters with regard to our Platinum Jubilee celebration of our All India State Bank of India Staff Federation. In that, you have been asking about genesis of our federation. So, before talking about the genesis of the federation, I would like to say certain of the facts. In those days, employees have been treated like bonded laborers, and they have been treated like slaves. And in fact, there was no proper working conditions. And the employees have been teased and harassed, and they cannot even see sunrise and sunset. Like that, they have been continuously working in the bank without any time norms or anything. So this has slowly, an aversion has taken place in the minds of the employees. And in fact, I must tell that the Bengal Association has done a very, very pivotal position in those days, because your association has been started in the year 1920, even before the Trade Union Act. And it was under the alien rule you have done. I appreciate and applaud the Bengal comrades for the courage they have shown and the way in which they have started the union. And subsequently, with that union's birth, a lot of improvements in certain of the areas, working conditions and other things, it has slowly started coming. And like that, in South, Madras Circle in those days, they were also, the employees were simmering, and because they want to break these actually the bonded labor system and the way in which they have been treated, they cannot tolerate. So in those days, it is also very difficult for them in the presence of the management people or anybody to talk or discuss with them. So in Chennai, in those days, they will go to the court buildings, Madras High Court. There in that place, they will all join together, a few people. Those valiant people, they join together there in that place. And that too in the nights, so that their face could not be identified by anybody. And such people, they all join together, and there they have come to some conclusion. We cannot allow these kind of things to go on.
It happened in 1946.
It happened just before 1946. The framework was
one year before the
before they are simmering and all that.
Yeah.
Slowly it has developed, and on account of that only they will finally decided that they will have their own union.
Yeah.
And that is that too, the Imperial Bank of India, Indian Association, Staff Association at that time. They have started that has been started on 4th August 1946 at the same St. Mary's Hall. Here it has been done.
And at that time, at the very outset, how many circles amalgamated with the federation?
No, actually, first the staff union, Bengal Circle has formed union. Different circles were together in the Bengal Circle. Chennai Circle were there in those days, Madras Circle, and South all unions were put together and that one union was there. And Mumbai Circle, there the other remaining all circles were together.
Yes.
So in fact, to start with at that time, only 3 circles were there.
Yeah.
That 3 circles also, and when we have started here in Chennai's union, then our people wanted somehow this make it as an all India body.
Yeah.
And they wanted to spread this to the entire India. On account of that, first they had some discussions with the Bengal comrades.
Yeah.
And Bengal comrades and Chennai comrades, they came together and they have discussed. And finally they have decided that let us have our federation so that we can give very good protection to the entire employees at national level.
Yes, and subsequently Bombay Circle also came.
That decided.
Yeah.
And after division, even at that time, in the beginning first meeting, only Calcutta and Chennai they were playing dominant role.
Yeah.
Subsequently, the Mumbai Circle have
In
joined.
1948 and
In
1951.
1951, they have joined, and it has become All India Organization. That is All India's the Imperial Bank of India, Indian Staff Federation Association. Like that, All India body has emerged.
Thank you.
Later onwards, it has come, different circles have been formed.
Yeah.
Now we are having lot of circles and some 16 circles are there. 17.
Now it is a very mighty
Very mighty organization.
No doubt about it.
And,
now fine. Now we get a vivid description about the formation of our federation. I would request you to reflect on some of the very important issues taken up by your union, that is Madras Union. Particularly, I can remind you one, this K.D. Nair episode where your valiant members fought unswervingly and unflinchingly against the atrocities of the circle management. And your role, we always remember, and the members of all the circles of State Bank, they fondly remember those days of K.D. Nair episode. Would you please reflect on it? Because you are very much in the thick of the affairs.
in fact, if I would like to tell about K.D. Nair's atrocities, before that itself I would like to, because I have been telling about the formation. State Bank Staff Union has taken its birth Chennai Circle at St. Mary's Hall. After 1 year, the Federation also has taken its birth at Chennai in 1947.
Yeah.
So the bondage between Calcutta and Chennai, it was very fantastic. And at our circle level, during emergency time, by just a proclamation. The benefit that we have been enjoying about this customary bonus act that has been struck down. Employees have been denied with the customary bonus. At that time only, Comrade Ganeshan,
Yeah.
he has given a protest letter during that emergency time. This is our customary right and it cannot be withdrawn. It has been there for some years. Only that letter has helped the Chennai Circle to go before the court. And ultimately, because of shortage of time, I am not telling all those things. We fought in tribunal and Chennai court, High Court, and then finally it has come in our favor. The role here played by Ganeshan is fantastic and superb.
Yes.
And this is an all India issue which has been fought by Chennai Circle, and we won it, and because of that the entire bank employees all over India have been benefited on account of this.
Actually, the
That
name of Mr. Comrade Ganeshan and your Madras Circle is synonymous with the customary bonus.
Yes.
Whether we achieved it or not, ultimately it was scuttled by the government. No doubt about it. But your fight, that is also legendary.
Yes.
But my point is, the valiant fight you fought during the episode of your Kedinaya atrocities.
For that genesis only, I want to tell about customary bonus,
right.
because it is against government.
Yeah.
Because they have struck down, and we went up to the court, and ultimately we won. The benefit has come to the entire all over India.
Yeah.
More than 38 crores at that time it has been dispersed. So the management were in jitters about the government's way of dealing with them, and ultimately that is the reason why for anything and everything this Chennai Circle is in the forefront, and they are going, why not we break the backbone of the Chennai Circle and see that the staff union is demolished. With that aim and motto, the central office have decided to debut Mr. K.D. Nayyar to destroy the state banks, presently known the state bank staff union. Chennai Circle, they wanted to destroy.
It is actually victimization.
It is a victimization part, and they wanted to do it that because Chennai Circle is always fighting for the rights of the employees and getting more benefits and focusing at all India level, and that's why they wanted to see and demolish the union. So K.D. Nayyar has come, and this man he started going and telling everywhere, the honeymoon with the unions, everything is gone. Year afterwards, I don't want any cooperation from anybody. I don't want union cooperation. I will run as administration. There is nothing of union like that. He started addressing meetings in the banks and everywhere and doing it. And as usual, the union rose in revolt.
Yeah.
In fact, it has all over the circle, this has gone, and everybody, they wanted to show their hands and tell that what K.D. Nayyar is doing is wrong.
Yeah.
And he wanted unilateralism. He don't want any discussions on any matters. He don't want a bipartisan to take place. He wants everything that as management tells, whatever management tells, the union will have to, the employees will have to abide. They are our employees. So whatever we say, it should be done. Union cannot come in the picture like that. He was telling.
And no doubt at that time the solidarity shown by you is really legendary.
Because
an example.
Yeah. Actually, the leadership, first of all, to tell you very honest leadership was in the seat.
Yeah.
And the people who are with knowledgeable persons were present. And they are prepared to go to any extent to sacrifice. And with that kind of leadership who are in the forefront, the entire members rallied around the entire leadership. And they said whatever comes from the leadership, and if any circular goes to that, the membership in toto will abide by that, and they will go on agitation.
Yeah.
We have gone on agitation. Demonstrations were there, strikes were there, everywhere. And KD Nayar let loose the reign of terror on the employees.
Yeah.
And wage cut was just like that he was imposing. And even for doing demonstrations, wage cut. And anything which has been raised also, he was doing like that, and so many suspensions have taken place, and even dismissals also have taken place. In spite of that, the members rose in revolt. They are not afraid of what Mr. KD Nayar has let loose in this circle. They have all joined together like rock-like solidarity has been exhibited by the entire Chennai circle people, and they solidly stood behind the leadership, and whatever the instructions which have come from the union headquarters, that has been implemented in total. In fact, KD Nayar, he has given police complaints. He wanted the employees to be arrested. People have also quoted arrest. They are not bothered about that in those days. Lady comrades were treated, ill-treated, and they have also been put behind the bars. But in spite of that, even a pregnant lady they have not left. KD Nayar has let loose like this, and in collusion with that time, at that time with some of the government people, they have used the police force also against the members of the staff union. But without any fear, they all joined together and faced these atrocities, and the management cannot tolerate all those things.
Yes, Mr. Reddy ji. Actually, your vivid description reminds me of those fiery days. Now, time is not actually will give us much time to ask you many questions are there.
Okay,
Now,
in this only one thing I will tell you.
yes.
An extraordinary general council has been organized to take a decision of going on indefinite strike. And the entire people, without much discussion, they have said there is no other go, we must go on indefinite strike and teach a lesson to Mr. KD Nayar. KD Nayar must be sent out of this circle. With that mind, they have said, decision has been taken. Then subsequently the federation has moved, and management, the central office also come down. Gokhale has been summoned, and all those things, discussions have been taken place, and ultimately the discussions, people finally they said they will whatever suspensions, this and everything will be withdrawn, and finally the victory has come, thumping victory has come. There were scars. The wage cut which has been done by the management, the union has compensated. That was the spirit. And all employees, they are not bothered about also. They said whether you give or not, we will stand by union. That kind of spirit was there. They want to go on indefinite strike also. Everything that made the central office management in jitters.
Yes.
They have come down, and ultimately they have agreed, and finally, subsequently, Mr. KD Nayar left. At the time of leaving, KD Nayar said one thing: I came here with the purpose of demolishing staff union, but the way in which membership stood solidly behind the leadership, I failed. I am going empty-handed. I was not able to do it. That was the spirit of Chennai circle people and the leadership led by Mr. T.V. Loganathan Ganeshan, and these people really, they are fantastic. He praised and left, because even though he failed, he has admitted the caliber of the leadership, and he has left his circle, and it is a glorious victory for our Chennai circle. When I say Chennai circle, it is a victory for the entire State Bank men.
Exactly.
Anywhere, in any corner, anything happens, and the management has been taught a lesson, means that will spread like anything, and all the people all over India as State Bank men, they will all happily raise in revolt in such atrocities are attempted by the management.
Yes, actually this spirited solidarity of State Bank of India and our union, that is an example for building the future of our federation.
Yes.
Now I will ask you one more question,
Yes,
please.
yes.
that is during your long tenure and your career in the trade union field, what issue, please identify one issue that you like to highlight that really will show the path to go forward for the future, for the entire State Bank people in
Sir.
the future. One issue
Yeah.
dealt by our federation.
I will tell you, the Federation and circular. Federation now, 9th June 89 settlement, they have signed. Then signed settlement, they have gone back.
Yeah.
At the biggest of the central government. And what is these people who have signed and going back on that, it is unfortunate. And at that time, we want to go and we all India level, we rose in revolt and we want to do it. At that time, M.R. Avasthi was the workman director in the board.
Yeah.
The federation has decided this is an issue which this management is doing like that. It's not often accepting. And they have said, our federation workman director, who is a bank director now, he must raise it in the board and he must walk out of that and he must do something in the board. In the board, Mr. M.R. Avasthi boldly has focused the entire issue and said that the management has no local standing to go back on the settlement which has signed. If it is not going to be implemented, there is no other way out for me. I will have to resign the board of director and get out of this board and join with everybody, and we will have to fight out till this settlement is done and implemented. With that idea, that is one individual person. Even he was our representative there in the board. He has highlighted in such a manner, and hats off to his courage and guts at that time, and that has yielded ultimately with our strength of the federation. We were able to see that the settlement is implemented. This is one thing.
Thank you.
No, actually,
He's going back.
huh?
He's going back to the board.
And afterwards,
afterwards, yes.
in that vacancy, once again the federation thought it wise to re-nominate him to the board.
Yeah.
And they don't want any other person to be nominated at that time. The unanimous choice was that this M.R. Avasthi alone, one name should be given and he should be taken back in the board. And we are happy that the pressure mounted by federation at that time, the management have no other way but to accept the proposal of the federation and make him and send the name to the government, and ultimately he has been once again re-nominated as the workman director. That is one of the fantastic things which has been done in the history of this. But one thing I would like to tell, in Chennai Circle, it's the most unfortunate and pitiable in those days when Britishers were there. They feel it is below their dignity if a messenger is sitting in the office itself.
Yes.
In office itself, they doesn't want a messenger or any other subordinate staff member sit in the office.
Yeah.
So they have not provided any chair or anything or this. For that, our union has to go on agitation and tell and impress upon the management. The human respect and dignity will have to be given to him, and he should be offered a seat in the office. And they have provided one stool at that time for the messenger to sit.
Thank you.
Now it is totally different, but it may be a small. The human values, to respect the human values, the union has taken up this small issue and we have achieved. That's a very great thing our people have said.
Thank you.
Even addressing letters, third person only they will write. They will not address dear so-and-so.
Yeah.
Union has to fight for it, and ultimately the management, whether it is a sweeper or a messenger or a clerk or an officer, for anybody, my dear so and so,
Yeah, to address
to
that.
address.
Yeah.
See, this, what is a great
That is achievement, no doubt
achievement
about it.
which the union has
Yes,
done.
Reddy ji, such leadership, such foresightedness of a leadership, such valiant attitude of a leadership, such leadership will definitely show
No,
the path.
in fact,
in future.
when you talk about leadership,
Yeah.
I must tell at least a few names. As far as Chennai Circle and Bengal Circle, yes, I know Mr. Ghosh earlier he was there, and subsequently
Jyoti
Mr.
Ghosh.
Mohan Majumdar has come, and Nirmal
Ghosh.
Chaudhary has come, Apresh Majumdar has come, Gurdas Chatterjee has come, Sangrasa Datta has come, and subsequently also Siddhartha Khan, Ashok Datta, Siddhartha Khan, and so many other people have all come. That the leadership. In Chennai Circle, the people, Mr. Loganathan, under the leadership of Mr. Loganathan only, Mr. Comrade C.L. Rajarathan and Ganeshan also, they have all worked together.
Yeah.
And here I will have to tell upon one valiant person who was in Kerala, Alexander. Alexander was our one person who led this organization along with these people. That name also we cannot forget about it. These people are in Mumbai. Mr. Puto was there at that time, and subsequently Mr. Lakshmi Narsiya, Mr. Avasi, and so many other people. I am sorry, because of shortage of time, I am not able to tell all the names.
Yes.
But these are all the people, are all valiant people who have sacrificed for this organization. They have never bothered about their families. Their family is only union, and they have spent the whole night and day for the sake of the improvement of the under the non-political organization. That is most important. These are in Chennai. I will proudly say that Mr. Loganathan took the lead, and he is the first president of All India State Bank, All India organization of our federation. He was the first the non-political person to occupy the position as the General Secretary, and Mr. C.L. Rajaratnam as President.
It was first workman to
First, not organization.
yes, from the organization.
From the organization,
Organization.
non-political
President.
people,
Yes.
president occupying the non-political people occupying the post, serving employees occupying
Yes.
the post, it is these people. And the services of Mohanda and Nirmal Chaudhary, nobody can forget about. They are the people. And I tell you, if Mohanda is in the central office, means the whole central office will be in jitters.
Yeah.
Because that was the quality of the nature of our leadership in those days, and they were able to carry on this federation flag in flying colors so high. That is which ultimately all the people are carrying this because of the fact we are having a non-political organization. We are not affiliated to any of the political parties. We don't take any dictates from any outsiders, and we inside people leadership only serving employees were in the helm of affairs, and they were carrying this. So their aim is only employees' interests and banks' interests. Because even though our federation always, when it has shown, even when other peoples were not taking up the case of computerization and other work thing, it is in State Bank of India, the federation has come forward to allow the computerization.
Yes.
Because knowing that pretty well, all India level, we should go in for technology, and the technology will definitely improve.
There are so many important
Yeah,
things
so many
about it.
important things
No doubt
have come.
about it.
Yeah.
That actually, no doubt about it, that our leaderships were really very inspiring, and I hope that this is the reason why we are holding this Platinum Jubilee celebration.
Yeah.
And we hope that in future generation leadership will come up, and we will take up the cause from you.
You know, in one thing I would like to tell, the federation has taken its birth at Chennai.
Yeah.
So Chennai has done the Silver Jubilee celebrations.
Yes.
Chennai has done the Silver Jubilee Federations, and subsequently all circles have done it, and the Golden Jubilee celebrations have been done. Then Diamond Jubilee celebrations have been done, and Platinum Jubilee celebrations also. Chennai has started first, and then the ending it has come to Bengal.
Yes.
And hats off to Bengal comrades, because Bengal is the citadel of trade union. It is a place where the trade union spirits have been spread like anything. And in that place, this Platinum Jubilee celebrations are taking place. I am sure and certain this will enhance the entire spirit of the State Bank men all over the country, and generation after generation, this federation will go from strength to strength and carry the flag forward, giving protection to the entire employees. And only my request is that this federation will have to see that the public sector character of State Bank must remain forever. And for that, I am sure the entire federation, both the officers federations, will have to join together. Not only federations, the management, top management also must join together. If any move comes from any quarter, all the people must join together and fight out this menace, and see that the public sector character of the federation, the State Bank is kept. Then only, because whole India, it is only the State Bank that has given lot of benefits to the rural masses, agriculture loans, industrialization, and whatever improvements which have come in the economy side. For all those things, State Bank of India played a pivotal role, and in that both the federation have done a fantastic job, and the unions must. Our slogan is that our prosperity depends upon the prosperity of the institution. So our interest is only two things: one, workers' interest; another, bank's interest. With that, the flag of State Bank Federation will always fly on top. Wishing all the best, and the Platinum Jubilee celebrations will be a grand success. Thank you very much
you.
for all these things. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you for your
Thank you.
inspiring speech.
Thank you, sir. You can cut whatever you want.
Yes. Now, today we have with us our leader, Comrade Sanjeev Kumar Bandish, and for the very old comrades, old employees of State Bank of India, I like to remind them that and introduce him as he is the son of our great leader K.K. Bandish. That I remember, very fondly remember, our leader K.K. was an excellent orator. His baritone voice and his spirited speech during the trying time. And now his son is the torchbearer of our association and federation. Comrade, my first question to you. Now in the changed scenario, banking scenario in our country, and also in State Bank of India, what do you think to be the challenges before the management and also before the members and our leadership today?
In the olden days, what we find was that the staff was much more in number in any of the branches because of the manual setup of the banking. But with the change scenario, slowly, once we have made an agreement on the computerization, when our forefathers who could see not writing on the walls but beyond the wall what is written on that, and because of their art, the employees of State Bank of India were the pioneer in getting one more increment at that time. That was the agreement of 9th June 1989. Because of that, we could had a lot of criticism from the banking industry, from the trade unions, from other trade unions also, as if we have sold our rights to the bank and bank management. But thinking on that particular reason for that was that they were forcing that in any day now banking without computerization may not be possible because it was whatever was happening throughout the country. Seeing that part and realizing that part, we could enter into an agreement with the bank where the entire staff of State Bank of India could get one more increment on the plea that because of computerization, when bank is going to go ahead and because that business will be increased, because that profit will be increased, why not it should be shared with the employees of the bank?
Yeah.
So with that logic only, that increment was given to us, and once that increment was given, by that time we had become a part of the IBA. So again, there was a lot of hue and cry by the other unions, and to get it implemented, again we had to give a call for the indefinite strike in the month of October 1989. Just 1 or 2 days prior to that, we could get that thing clinched and we got that increment. And that the same unions who was criticizing All India State Bank of India Staff Federation for making such an agreement, they just bestowed before us, they requested to our leadership that they should help in getting one more increment for them also, and they were also ready to sign the same type of agreement. So this was the thing, that was the foresightness that our leadership had in All India State Bank of India Staff Federation. Right from the day 1, 1947, when we have formed this federation, or prior to that, when we had formed this Imperial Bank of India, Indian Staff Federation or Indian Staff Association, I mean. But as we progress slowly and slowly, as this computerization happened, as this liberalization took place throughout the country, at the time of 1991, Dr. Manmohan Singh, when he became the Finance Minister of the country. So with that, because that concept was changed from social banking to commercial banking. So at that time we had nothing to say in that matter, and slowly government was insisting on profitability of the banks. So accordingly the bank's performance for the balance sheet was changed. Accordingly all the concept towards the banking was basically meant, that was changed from social banking to commercial banking, and we also started thinking in that direction only. Once we went from the social banking to the commercial banking, so naturally to earn profit, we had to reduce the staff establishment expenses also and other expenses also. Because of that, slowly, government has also banned the recruitment, and we also started the way the government has acted, and in 2000 only BSRBs were discontinued throughout the country, and till 2008 we could not have a single recruitment, though during that period we went on strike for so many times to have a fresh blood, because we were feeling it from 1986 onwards. Government has banned it. From the last already 14 years we are not having any recruitment, and to run the trade union movement, fresh blood and the young blood is must.
Very correct. Actually, entire banking scenario has changed now, because banking system has been changed and spread all over the country in a novel way, and computerization and mechanization is a reality today, and our members are also trying to implement all the programs of the bank because it is a necessity. Our members always try to give a good balance between our duties and our rights. Now, I will ask you, do you find that the attitude and commitments of our members to the leadership and our organization are being changing nowadays?
In this, just when I'm about to give the answer of this question, one thing is very important, that we should remember it, that in 1986, when the government has banned that recruitment, for 14 years we could only recruit in State Bank of India or in any other public sector banks. It was only 0.75% of the total staff strength at that material time, inclusive of the compassionate appointments.
Yes.
So in case whatever the number of people, suppose in a particular circle there were 6,000 clerical staff, so hardly we could recruit 45 people. So 45 people within 4 years, 5 years, they become trainee officers or JMJS1. So almost all the people they could be promoted. Or during that 14 into 0.75 is hardly 10.5. From 2000 to 2008 there was no recruitment. So 14 plus 8 to 22 years, almost 10% of the people were recruited, and almost out of 10%, 8 to 9% people were promoted. So we could not have any person who was just taken afresh. So almost 22 years back people had been recruited, and most of the people they had been taking the promotions, those who were recruited in 70s or 80s, just after that this emergency also 77 slowly, because there was a lot of expansion in the banking activities. AOs, mostly AOs and all local head offices, they were opened at that time in State Bank of India, especially like Chandigarh Circle, Bhubaneswar Circle, Guwahati Circle, lot many new circles had come. So because of that, lot many new people had come, and almost all the people were young, so they were just promotion conscious, so the people have taken they were running after the promotions. And in 1999, we introduced career progression in State Bank of India. Because of that, every year the promotion test was being conducted. So, but we were not having the recruitment, people were getting retired also, people were getting promoted also. So by that time in 2008, when we could succeed in bringing the new recruitment, by that time almost all the people of the bank, old people, those who were having the real concept of trade unionism in their mind, those who had really furnished this association to this extent, that were missing. So that basic cause, that link, earlier we were used to have 300 staff or hardly 5 or 6 people were new. So it was just a namak in the atta. So that was absorbed and all the people were trained. So now it is almost in 2008, all the atta was missing, it is totally namak. So all the youngsters are there in the branch, but there is no one to tell them about the trade unionism. Secondly, the concept, because of this 1991 liberalization, privatization, globalization, those boys who had born after that, they are having the corporate culture in their mind. And they started thinking that the trade unions are not good. These trade unions are perhaps this political class leaders. Once that concept comes of the political class, so they were not seeing the leadership with a good eye. So that is the image a person who is joining the bank was also carrying in their mind, because they do not have that experience of the leadership of State Bank of India Staff Association or the leadership of All India State Bank of India Staff Federation. They had seen the leaders of the political parties, those who come after 5 years, make false promises, go taking the votes, and again come after 5 years. So because of that culture, so that thing was not grown up, and because of that thing, these people, those who had grown up in the new society, new rules after liberalization, because of the corporate culture, because by that time all the government vacancies, government recruitments, government, this thing has already stopped. So they had to compete in the open market, in the public sector, in the open private sector. So because of that, they were afraid of joining the trade unions, because in the private sector there were not much of the trade unions.
Is it partly because of better service condition? That may be one of the causes. The sufferings of our founding fathers of our association and federation, they had to fight. But nowadays, members are not no doubt about it that they get better social support, supports are there. Their service condition is no doubt better than the previous one. Obviously, they urge necessity that our founding fathers felt, or our former leaders felt, that is not there. It may be one of the causes, but I think the days are not so conducive, not so flowery. Future is not so flowery.
So you are
We will have to be much more union-minded. We have full confidence in the sagacious leadership of our nation, no doubt about it. But our members should also come forward. What is your message to our members?
So this is why our people have started thinking like that. As I said, because of the link missing, because they have not seen the olden days, they have not seen the olden trade union in State Bank of India or in the banking sector. By the time they are born or brought up, so communalism is almost over the world. So communists are not seen with the good eyes, because these people always say communist means high, always strike and all these things. So because that is not the real thing that communist tells us, that is only to fight for our rights, that is the basic theory. But these youngsters, they are, as I said, they are born and brought up in the corporate culture. So that social link is missing.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, whatever our predecessors, our former leaders have suffered, they have suffered to achieve a single penny they have collected. But these people have got that khajana all of a sudden. And whatever they feel is as if everything has been given by the management itself,
Yeah.
in a single platter.
Yes.
They do not know the history of this federation, they do not know the history of this association, how we have fought and how we have earned, even the timings,
And the sufferings behind.
even the timings
Yeah.
of the Imperial Bank of India, when the people used to have the timings to come in the morning, but they were not sure at what time they will go in the evening.
Yes.
And even I have been telling in my speeches throughout the country that even in the night when the dogs used to bark in the streets, mother used to tell it is not some thief, it is a member, it is an employee of
Yes.
Imperial Bank of India who is going home after completing his job.
Yeah.
So these people I have only seen from Paune 10 se Paune 5. They do not know how we have achieved it. They do not know the sufferings of the officers, those who have been demanding the regulation of the working hours. Because till date they could not get.
And the security. And the service security. That is also very important
This
thing.
is what it is. This is what it is. It started with first the timings, the service conditions. We could force the bank or the government to appoint different commissions, like different awards came, San Award, Gupta Award, Shastri Award, Desai Award. Then we let it go. We did not like that award system. Then we shifted to bilateralism. Then how we started with the bilateralism in State Bank of India, how we entered so many agreements one by one for achieving the service conditions. So these things are to be taught to the newcomers, because they are the people who are going to carry over the baton in future. That is why in the Silver Jubilee or in the Golden Jubilee, there was no need of celebrating throughout the country, because members are already enlightened enough.
Yes.
They were not to be enlightened. But this time, at the time of Platinum Jubilee, we had taken a conscious decision in the Executive Committee of All India State Bank of India Staff Federation that this type of a meeting should be held in every circle,
Correct.
where we have to tell the youngsters about the achievement, about the history, about the past glory, about the past sacrifices made by our leaders.
Yes, we have paved the way. Now, thank you, Comrade Amrish. My last question to you, that in this Platinum Jubilee year, the golden tradition, the golden heritage that our federation is bearing now, what will be your message to your members?
My message to our members will be that they should come forward, join the mainstream of the association, know about the sacrifices made by our previous members, our leaders, and try to carry forward the torch or the baton that they are going to be handed over in the shorter term, because almost all senior people are going and all the new people are going to take over. So my sincere and only message will be for them not to surrender, not to be frightened of, but to carry the message that is right is might, that will follow in the days to come.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
My another question is there. It is a unique feature of State Bank of India Staff Federation and the entire leadership of State Bank is that from the very inception, we are free from any political party influence. We are not affiliated to any political party. We have our own political ideas, no doubt about it, but we are not under any political party. It is something unique characteristics of our association. Do you think that our members should carry forward this ideal in future also?
Whatever our principles of the association we have formed, maybe in 20s, maybe in 30s, maybe in 60s, maybe in 70s, that is still valid enough, because we know it fully well from the last experience of 75 years as a federation or more than 100 years of the association, that whenever we need something, we have to fight for it, for achievement. So irrespective of which government is at the power, which management is at the power, our message to our members is that no management, nobody is going to give them anything in the silver platter. For everything they have to fight on if they want to survive in the social market. And secondly, for a non-political organization, why we should be a non-political? Because the moment we turn into a political organization, our membership will be divided, because somebody will be from BJP, somebody will be Congress, somebody will be Communist, so we ourselves will be divided, our unity will be gone. So just to keep our unity intact, we have to be under one banner, that is All India State Bank of India Staff Federation. That is the real, you can say, a political thing or whatever it is. Because as far as the trade union is concerned, it is All India State Bank of India Staff Federation. Political party can be, I can belong to A party, B party, C party, you can belong to A party, B party, C party, but that should not come in any way, or that should not interfere in the working of All India State Bank of India Staff Federation.
Thank you. We hope that in the centennial years, after 100 years, also we shall carry on this principle of our association.
Yes. This is a real thing, and we hope, not only hope, but we are sure, whatever the thing we have carried forward till 75 years or 100 years of the association, our young generation, young blood will carry it forward, not for 100 years, for 200 years, 300 years. This process will go on.
Thank
With
you.
all the best to all the people, this is what we conclude here. That's all, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.